Hey YouTube, it's Morgan, aka the Mountaineer. Just wanted to do a quick video today. It's been a week since I pulled this Star of the East cake out of the press. You may be wondering why the jar is frosty. Earlier today I measured the cake, and I subsequently cut it. You can see some kind of raggedy cuts, and that's from this meat slicer. And the reason this is frozen, I put it in the freezer it was all in there for almost 7.5 hours. But I sliced the piece off with this Opinel, or however you say it, knife, which makes a nice clean cut. And the ragged ones are from this, but the instructions for this say to, it's a meat slicer. It says freeze the meat. So I thought, hey, what would happen if I froze this cake and tried to cut it then? So just a quick experiment. You can see the nice clean cut there. Knife does a good job, but with this thing, if it could cut smoother, you can have consistent thicknesses of cake. I can't remember which end I cut from, but I've tried it before and it just kind of almost tears it. And I don't know if you can see that. I don't think I have a good angle, but well, let's see. Well, that is not a beautiful cut, but let me tell you, compared to what I got earlier, it was not great. Maybe I'm speaking a little too soon, but it is a better cut, still not great. In my upcoming experiment, I really want to be able to cut nice, smooth, even coins of tobacco. And as you can see, that's not bad. You can see ragged edges, not perfectly round. Some of it comes off around there. Again, not super awesome, but still decently functional. I mean, let's face it, you can't really screw anything up. You're just gonna put it in a pipe and smoke it anyway. But it would be nice to have a little bit better. But there's half of the cut before, and I don't know how well you can make it out. I think my hand's kind of probably washing that out a bit, but that knife does do a very good clean job. But anyway, so I was just curious. That was my little experiment. But as I mentioned before, if you recall, I did measure the diameter. Gotta get my cheat sheets. I did measure the height and diameter of this prior to, or right after I got it out of the press, prior to putting it up. And I used, I came down, like I say, it was about 11:30 or so, just quick break to get up, stretch my legs, tighten this press down. This is the experiment press. Let's see, the initial height was 2.184 inches, or 55.5 millimeters. It got up to 2.478 inches, or almost 63 millimeters. So about 0.294 inch increase, 13.5 inches of height, or 13.5% height gain. And the diameter, I won't go through all the numbers, just about 9 thousandths of an inch increase in diameter, about 1/4 of a millimeter, and less than 0.5% increase. I didn't figure, it never seems like they get much bigger, but they will if you sit them in these jars. You'll notice that they will kind of get a little friction fit, so you put them down in there, they'll expand a tiny bit and kind of have to shake it initially, but yeah, it's kind of interesting to see that after 1 week, not quite a week. That was last Tuesday evening, but anyhow, so I'm just an inveterate tinkerer, but I was listening to I've been listening to Metallica the past couple days while I've been working. Sometimes I find that for some reason hard rock helps me concentrate, and I was listening to the Black album, and it's funny what I don't know if you can hear all this noise. Everybody's walking upstairs, but dogs running around. But my brain just stopped. Associations you have. I remember I got the Metallica's Black album with Enter Sandman and all those. I think it was the summer between 10th and 11th grade, and I had AP English in 11th grade, and we had this big reading list, and I didn't want to read that junk. I can't remember what that book was, but book or books or whatever. But what I wanted to read and was reading was Dune, Frank Herbert's Dune. So every time I listen to that album, I think of Dune and the beach and kind of the resistance. Mom telling me to read what I needed to read instead of, what I wanted to. And it's kind of like, this is the beach. I shouldn't have to read other crap for school. And I kind of have the same association with the Fastball album. I don't know, they were kind of a two-hit wonder or something, but I got that and the first Harry Potter book for Christmas many moons ago, and so I remember Christmas Day sitting there reading Harry Potter, listening to that album, so I kind of associate those two too. So a lot of music and books and things like that I always remember, end up remembering things. And as a kid I read a lot in the car, and so sometimes I'll drive past somewhere or reread something and think of where I was at that moment, or if driving past something, think of what I was reading. But it's just kind of interesting. It's kind of, they say scent is the strongest link to your memory, and I definitely have that, but I also always associate books and music with places, things that are going on, things like that. But I just thought I'd tell you about that. A little bit weird, but I don't know, I kind of find it fascinating. But anyhow, until next time, I'll talk to you later.